Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So recently I picked up Fabulous Flowers with acrylics, paint 22 blooms from Delphinium, I'm going to say that wrong, to Dandelion. I'm not an English professor. Okay, so I flipped through it and I came across this one. So we're going to just paint it, not necessarily listening to all of the steps, but for pure inspiration. So it has like a blue, black, purple background with some heavy brush strokes and some almost like white scraped edges maybe. And then loosely showing some flowers, then adding some of the leaves, you know, the green marks into it. More of the brighter colors layered on top with the green leaves and the white flowers, and then detailing it up with like the centers and, you know, some of the leaf branches and stuff. So we're just going to try that. That's why we got the books, right? I'm opening it up. We're going to try. There are tons that I do want to try, including this one. This one was really cute as well. So, you know, maybe I'll make a series as I go through that. Like I loved the sunflower ones, and it gives you a good like 5 to 6 like steps per bloom, or, you know, per piece. And it's really good. Like, look how detailed that became compared to like where you start. So just to see the process, you know, like this one's beautiful. Like I could have started with any of them, you know, but we're just going to start here because I simply thought like, okay, dark background, light white flowers. We can do that for our first attempt. And then I'm using the new Dina Wakley, well, new to me. It's not new in the series. They just brought it back, the multi-surface journal for mixed media. And I'm doing a page that has this, it's the middle of a signature. There's a seam. So it's the same on both sides. I could have done here, but I didn't want to, I wanted to do a double page layout, you know, for this, just to get loose and messy. And I didn't want to struggle with the two different sides of textures, and I wouldn't know how they would each absorb the paint. That is for us to learn as we go in here. So for the sake of a double page layout, we are using this one, and we are just going to town. I don't really even have a palette open. I don't even have anything, but I pulled out a bunch of craft paints. You can see the navy blues. There's a black. This one's called Wild Iris, Elephant, Blackberry, just a few more darker colors. Here's another dark gray, Balmy Night, and Deep Purple. So we're just going to kind of make that background first, and then probably scrape in some white and go from there. This is completely experimental. This is completely, let's just play because I want to play. This is not precise. I want to play, and sometimes playing, you have to approach it as, well, there are no rules, and I'm not going to make a big deal if it comes out cruddy, but it may come out great. And sometimes in that playtime, as I've learned a little bit, beautiful stuff happens. And also you learn how to play with your supplies. So we're learning to play with our supplies. And right now we just got to get a background down. Let's start. Okay, folks, this project I had done, I'm going to be awful, probably like a month ago, and I just now am getting around to editing the footage. So I do apologize, because I do believe I already have a other video up for a YouTube hop in which I use this book with a like purple and like a daisy flower project, and that one is up on my channel. So I do believe this one came first, but like I said, I am being naughty and editing videos out of order, so I apologize. But as you can see, we started off with a background where I just kind of plunked on paint right onto my notebook and, you know, kind of spread it out so that it was as much coverage as possible. Now we're just going in with just bright white. I let that layer dry also is key, because if the paint was still wet, this white would not be as white as it is. It would be picking up some of that black if it was still wet, not black, the blue, and making it like, you know, a blue color instead of the true white that it is. Now, am I a professional at making flowers? No. Am I kind of looking at the photo and getting the general shape of each petal? Yes. And this part is just, not to say confidence, it's just going for it. You know what I mean? Go for it. Put the paint down, because like I said, if this turned out to be like a horrid mess, no biggie. We will try again this page another day and start off with a navy background. But I do appreciate the navy already, because that white already is popping.
So I got my basic shape down, and then I was going in with the basic shape for some leaves. And all of this seems to be, like a good repetitive, like teardrop shape, okay? We're not reinventing the wheel. This is not meant to be realistic. This is, abstract. And this is, like I said, playtime for however long this took me to do. And you know what? Obviously, if you see my Instagram photos and stuff too, it turned out really good in the end. Now, is it perfect? No, but that's the whole point of learning to play and having, in essence, playtime, because you are learning how to use your products. You're learning how to create. I'm learning that you need to have patience between each layer because drying is key. If you don't let it dry per layout, then adding things on top will blend more often than kind of stand on its own. So here I am going in with some gray, looking at the inspiration because there are some shadows, and with gray, I can create that with on a white flower. Um, there is also a point where I think on the inspiration it has like these like cool like teal slash turquoise colors that I do go in and add, and you'll see me start to do that here shortly. And while it is in the inspiration, when I did it, I don't love it. So then you can see this process also happen where I gotta go back in and cover it up, and that is part of the playtime. So I am, to a degree, following it for the inspiration, following it to be close to it as possible, and that included going with those bright bold colors on the leaves itself. But once I added it on my version, I'll realize that, oh, you know what, I just don't really like it as bright as it is, even though it is in the inspiration and it works there. But for some reason on my version, it's not. And it's okay to go back in with white. I think that's how I do it with white. It'll be coming up here shortly. And this gray, and cover it up or tone it down. And that's part of the process too. So when I'm looking at it, I'm trying to, get the details as well. So I'm going in with the yellows and doing kind of like the center. I forgot what they call the center of the flower, but the parts that that get pollinated. Like they're always like this little branchy bushels stippled onto centers of flowers, and I am definitely trying to, get that look. As much as possible. That's the whole thing with this. And so, and like I wanted to show you too, I am using an expensive craft paint. This is that apple barrel paint, which is found at Walmart. I know also Michael's carries it, but it's cheaper at Walmart. And there's different versions of like these dollar paint tubes at Hobby Lobby if you are shopping there. And now that I am filming this, even though after the fact, our Joann's though is leaving, but Joann's Fabric would have also had them. But go in there and see if you can get them at a discounted price. I know that it's starting off at 20% for liquidation, but I know that will get higher and higher as the time goes by. So to add more color to that detail, I see myself going in with some orange, and then me doing the stippling on the on like the background slash negative space is purely a choice. I don't think that's in the inspiration, but I just wanted to add more of that color and to have it be of interest so that it just wasn't all just navy. And there I am kind of showing you a little glimpse of what it looks like. So this is where I'm adding that bright blue. And like I said, like it's in the photo and I'm kind of referencing back and I'm like, okay, there's blue here, there's blue there. And like I said, well, you'll watch it. It kind of just, like I said, it works in the inspiration. I just wasn't feeling it completely in my own project. And this is part of it, guys. Like, learning what your style could be, like clearly the artist that painted that one for the book, it appreciated more of these tones to be considered like I'm sure they use the colors like to be considered the shadow area of their painting. But for me, maybe I would have gone in more, with the gray, maybe on the bluer side, like a tone. But even so, that would take away from the bright white of the flower. So I don't know what color I would have gone in with. All I know is that I do all of this, and while it looks good still, it still looks good. I don't like it. Here I am going with white. I'm like, no, no. Too much, and I'm covering it all up. This is part of the process, guys. Please play. I hope, if anything, what you learned from me just dabbling in the mixed media and the painting and the acrylic and doing something in my journal is it's the need for moments of joy, moments where I'm not doom scrolling, moments where I'm not following the news, moments where I'm not trying to panic about my to-do list for the next day, moments where I'm not panicking about, what will work be like, 6 months from now. I think we all need that from time to time, just moments where all I have to worry about is what my flowers look like in this moment, this session of playtime. It becomes therapeutic. It's part of my self-care is kind of dabbling in art. And I think if you follow my channel and you're here all, you too want self-care to be some sort of crafty, artsy endeavor rather than being on social media. So this is my ode to it. And I'm sorry that the editing of the video is late, but we have it. And I hope you take inspiration and just play with your art supplies.
Okay, I think I'll leave this painting right where it's at. These are all needing to be rinsed. So here, let's check again. Here is the inspiration. I love some of the details. And don't get me wrong, you saw me do the blue. I didn't end up liking the blue. I think maybe because it was too bright and not like a blue-gray. But overall, for my first attempt, for cracking open a book, for dabbling with some paint. Oh, this is all attached. Let me not move it. It looks pretty good. Let me zoom you in. Like, you have some of the blues. I toned it down. And let's see, over here. Like, it looks good still. Some details are there. The gold splatter at the end. It looks really good. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Give this video a thumbs up. And until next time, everyone, bye.